Hey guys, Gabriel Miller here with a 2017 bucket garden update. It's been about a month since I posted my last update, and so the garden's been taking off like crazy, and so I wanted to give you a little bit of update on 2017 urban garden bucket update. So why don't we come on in here, Erica, and we've got the tomatoes we'll go through first. The first ones that I want to show you are these yellow pears, and actually the yellow pears, nothing is ripe yet, but they are taking off from the bottom. Now this is a determinate, so it's taking off from the bottom all the way to the top, and I've got 4 of these right here, and they are going off like crazy. Actually 6 of them. You can see another bucket of them. Just for a comparison, these, some are getting a little bit bigger, but really taking off. And then next to it, I have the Romas, and these guys are pretty stinking tall. We'll get to some more tall ones next, but again, we're the 23rd of July right now, so not even, really just about halfway through the growing season, and things are really taking off. I'm really loving how the buckets are doing. You can see right there, good healthy soil. Got my irrigation line hooked up right there, directly to the root. Really doing a great job, and you see that's with all the buckets. Now I did do some experimentation with doing 1 tomato and pepper versus 2 in each bucket, and so far inconclusive with that, so we'll see how that turns out by the end of the year. And you can see here we got some someone getting ready to be ripened up, so excited about those. And you can see all the way throughout the plant, a ton of production. Really loving how how these tomatoes are doing. So here, I'll give Erica the phone, and so you can kind of get a visual of where I'm standing. I'm 6 foot next to these Independence Days, which are really taking off. And you can come on in, Erica, and see how these, take this and see how they're doing. And again, they are taking off. And these, I've had a lot of people ask if these are heirlooms, and they're not. They sure look like it, but gonna be a little bit of a meatier variety, but I'm really happy with how they're doing. You can see they took a while. We got 2 of them here. Took a while to start producing, but now that they are on this plant, you can see there's a clutch, some more coming in, and then on this one, some here, as well as if we move down here, and then over here some more. So really happy with how those are turning out. One plant, interesting, I'll show you the pepper that did it too, but one of my tomatoes, one of my peppers just, I don't know, it just withered up one day. So I don't know if it got hit hard with the heat or what, but it does look like it's still growing, the tomatoes on it, so we'll see. I don't know. And then next to it I have my super sweets, which grow in pretty big clusters, and you can see here got a good cluster of them there. And then actually on the back end we have some more growing, so those will be tasty little cherries. And then we have the San Marzans, which actually are this big area here, 4 buckets, and see these guys growing there, on there. And then this one really is taking off, and noticing not as much foliage as I had last year, but a lot more production, which is a good thing for me, and I'm really excited about how that's turned out. So definitely not going to complain about that. You can see these guys are some interesting looking tomatoes, almost look like peanuts or something, I don't know, but you can see that comparison to my hands, really looking good. And then now we'll go into the peppers, kind of pan over those, and oh boy, the peppers are, if you would have talked to me this time in September last year, I would have had this much production. So we're a good month and a half away from that, and they've just been killing it. We'll go right here. These are some Anaheims. We'll sneak in there and see, a good 4 or 5 inches all the way throughout the plant, producing really awesome. And a couple buckets of cayennes. Now the cayennes are interesting because there's only so much you can do with a cayenne, and really one of these buckets would have done the job, but I give a lot of the peppers away, and so but this guy right here, he's got over 25 cayennes on it right now. And again, this is only the 23rd of July, and you can see he's still producing more throughout there. You see those new ones starting, but really excited. I had to, really don't have to do much of this with the peppers, but I actually had to on this guy, put a stake in the ground like he was a tomato, because there was just so much production. You can just see here, I'll just sit on him for a second, and just a massive amount of cayennes on this one, really on all three, but this one just takes the cake. And then this guy right here as well, a ton of cayennes. So really excited about him and them. And then here's some jalapenos. Last year I did a lot of jalapenos, way more than I needed. I love jalapenos, so I kept it down to about 4 or 5 buckets this year, and I'm glad I did, because the buckets that I have, which is peek under here, again, are producing like crazy. Gonna be a lot of happy friends and family who like peppers, and you can see him compared to my thumb there, good 2.5 inches. And then, you know, just weighing this whole thing down a ton. And we're only at this 23rd of July, so I'm gonna pick these guys probably in a week, and then get another 2 or 3 you know, cycles with them. So really excited. Here's another one, not as much, but still a lot of jalapenos on them. Same thing with this guy. Oh, just a ton. And now to my favorite pepper. Sorry for the loud noise again. We are right in the middle of the city, so you're getting the urban gardening effect with the noises. But now we're gonna get into my favorite pepper, which is the pepperoncinis. And I say it with all the peppers, but I really can't overstate how many peppers I'm getting on these guys. I mean, each plant has over 20, I would say. Some has a little bit more, some have a little bit less, but really, I mean, if we just, you know, on the outside of the plant, you can see a ton, and then I'll just push back a little bit, and you just see they're everywhere. Really nice, big, full pepperoncinis too. And I like to let these guys go red. I think with any pepper, you get a better flavor. Some you get a little too hot, but on the pepperoncinis, especially, you know, just the flavor difference in a green and even a ripe pepperoncini, but one that you get red, really a big difference for me at least. And so I really enjoy letting them sit out here a little bit longer. And I will pick these some green ones to get, you know, kind of reamp the plants. But look at this bucket, just chock full of them. These guys weren't as long. These were a little bit more of the plump pepperoncinis, but really thick. Here, I'll pick a guy off here so you can see and have him for dinner. But really good. Again, I've still got a long ways to go with the garden, and really excited with, drop that guy, but really excited with how everything's turning out. And something you might notice if you were to stop by and see the garden is, you know, there's some peppers in the buckets that don't line up, because if you remember from some of the previous videos, I did have some losses, put things out too early, kind of catastrophic in it, but I do have all the buckets filled. And so we've got right here some cayennes that I had extra, that these are interesting. They're growing a lot longer than the other ones, so they'll still be just as spicy. So looking forward to those as well. And then some more pepperoncinis, and again, my favorite pepperoncinis by far. So we've just got buckets and buckets of pepperoncinis. And because I also think, you know, I like giving away the peppers and giving away the produce, and pepperoncini is the type of pepper that really anybody's going to be able to take, use, eat raw, be able to cook with. So it's my preferred pepper to fill the buckets with. And you see these guys, I mean, just fantastic growth on them. And then here's a jalapeno snuck in the middle of these guys. And here's what I'm excited to see is right here on the pepperoncini is, I don't know how well you can see, but in the sunlight especially, starting to turn a little bit red. So, you know, give this guy another 5-8 more days, and he'll be right where I want him to be picking and eating. So excited about them. And then